Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in the past. We're making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Neuton, and with me this time around is a friend of mine. Yes. Jheanell Morgan, welcome.
Thank you so much, Neuton. I appreciate you for having me.
So, one of the labels, of the many labels you have, yes, one of them is the whole idea of being a people developer.
Yes.
Who is a people developer and why have you labeled yourself as such?
Okay, I appreciate that question. I actually bucked up on the term people developer a few years back while I was doing my master's in higher education, and it connected with me really because of the fact that it is intentional support for individuals as a whole.
Okay.
So you have persons who will have niche areas, depending on whatever backgrounds they have or their specific areas that they are targeting. For me, people development is everyone. So it doesn't target any one area. Anywhere I go, any area I find myself in, I should be able to help whoever I come in contact with. So it's every single person, any area that I end up in, whether it be education, the church, psychology, wherever it is that I might end up in, I should be able, with my background and expertise, to help any individual I find contact with.
Okay.
That's what it's about.
All right, so this support then is going to be, you said intentional, and of course it then means that it's going to then impact their relationships.
Absolutely.
How have you been doing this? Do you think you've been, for want of a better word, living your mission, so to speak?
I love that question. Absolutely.
How
I
so?
am. Ooh, how so is an even bigger question. So I'm going to say I've been doing that since my undergraduate years.
Okay.
And I would have been doing that unintentionally. Maybe it's a God-given talent, so to speak. Just because I like to assist people. I like to see how best I can support them. Support is probably the better word. When I was doing my bachelor's program, I would have needed help myself as a student. And through needing help, I would have received support from my peers as well as from my administrators. And when I would have identified other students who needed support, I realized I could help them myself. And that's where the whole desire to help others to an even greater level came about. So while I was in a bachelor's, I would have then discovered that they were doing the master's in higher education. So this is even before I knew that I was, of course, helping others. The master's came about, and that allowed me the opportunity to say, okay, through youth development, so this was a targeted master's yet, yes, but through youth development, I can say, okay, let me help all these young people at this particular level. Because yes, we'll have secondary education and all of that, but at this particular age group, I can get young people in a certain mindset as best as possible, because of course you're not going to reach everyone, but I have them at a certain age where I can say to them, let's see how I can change your mindset. Let's help you through mentoring, through coaching, through spiritual development, through your academic progress, whatever areas, because each person has different areas that they need support with. So I would have got the training that I need to see how I can identify the areas of support that they need and then target them and help them develop in ways that they need. So I did that, and of course, outside of the educational space, there was church, there were different programs that I was involved in and so on, and I always found myself targeting persons who need help. Everyone needs help in some ways. So I've also been told that I'm someone who people are drawn to, whether it be my face, my smile, that kind of thing, and I'm never going to say no if I can do it. So I live it, so to speak. I would also add, through my opportunities, I would have also been able to find ways and opportunities for me to further my ability to help others. So I did appreciative advising at Florida Atlantic University, a number of opportunities. In truth, I don't just limit myself. Where I can see the opportunity for me to grow so that I can further learn how to develop others, I'm going to take it.
All right, so you said that somewhat in terms of a wide scope. Take it home, so to speak, for me. Be very, without divulging or of course telling us people business. How do you think you have somewhat impacted somebody or helped somebody on that path to having healthier relationships, better relationships?
A specific case?
Or just in general then?
Oh, in general, I would say it's right now my students.
Okay.
It's always going to be my students for me.
Okay.
As an educator, that's always the big deal for me, to see their personal development, their growth, whether it be from UWI, the fact that many of them have graduated. I was head of the academic support unit at UWI, which means my specific target group, they're one of the specific target groups were students who are failing. So students would have been sent to me who were on academic warning, which means they were going to be failed out of the system. And when those students were sent to me, and I had to sit down with them and either run academic assessments with them, learning style assessments with them, and help them identify their learning strengths, and those students would have been able to be retained in the education programs at the different university programs they were in. Big deal for me. And then they would come back, graduate, see either stay in the system or graduate later, whatever it is that the different paths they're on. Huge deal. Would have left UWI, went to one-on-one educational services. There I worked with trainers, and that was a huge deal for me when I was invited to one-on-one, because these trainers themselves, their whole thing was to support other learners as well. So I was helping trainers develop programs and systems so that they could better improve their learners. So to help a trainer like myself was a big deal for me. So I sat down and designed a whole website for them, a whole learning platform to help them help learners. That was big for me as well. So not only for me in terms of creating a platform, an online platform, but helping the trainers themselves sit down and be like, okay, how can I utilize this platform, learn how to utilize that platform to help my learners. And then of course, I'm here at NCU now, and I'm seeing how in a residential space, I can help students' personal development in terms of cleaning, washing their own clothes, how they themselves can learn how to cook in some instances. It varies, you know. So it's always students for me in a more personal way than any other group.
What do you think then it is about you as a person? Why? Because you've been at NCU now for about a year, and they see you as the cool dean, so to speak.
Okay.
What do you think it's about? What is it about Jheanell Morgan? Why is that people are drawn to you? That in some way you're then given the opportunity or the privilege to then impact their lives?
I don't know that I answer what it is about me. God's grace. Honestly, I think maybe people can sense my passion.
Okay.
I don't give up on people easily. Because I do give up on people. I have boundaries. I'm very real about that. I don't play. I don't play with foolishness. So people, I believe, sense my passion. But there is a point where I will say, this is a line. If you're not here to fight for yourself, I'm done. So I think people realize that I'm fighting for you up until a point. I'm very clear about that in my conversations with students. You have to want to fight for yourself as well. Very big on that. I would hope, let me not say because I can't speak for them, I would hope that students realize I mean business. Like I'm going to hold you accountable. You also need to have personal accountability for yourself. That's a huge thing for me. And I emphasize that a lot in my conversations. I'm not here just to talk. I'm not here to play games with you. If you're coming to me as someone who is here and is serious about your personal development, I need you to be serious about it as well. It's a conversation, that's the bottom line for me. So if you're coming with me in business and you need to be developing, or else you're wasting my time. Hi, I'm Jheanell Morgan, People Developer, and this is the Making It Last podcast. We're going to take a break to get a word from our partners.
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors. Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
I recently have been coached by the great Miss Noreen Daly.
This This woman has been full of moments of, I see your potential and I see your dreams that you're afraid to dream. So let's get there and let's do it.
Noreen was the one who recognized my flaw, but she didn't leave it there. She led me along the journey of developing my communication skills.
She was able to point out some of my weaknesses that I didn't yet notice.
She exposed me to so many fundamental pillars of communication.
I pray that you have people in your life who are as supportive as she is, who are as much of a gift as she is.
And I 100% recommend Miss Noreen Daly as your coach.
The truth is, I am who I am today because of Noreen's coaching.
Find her. Seriously, find her.
Services include communications consultancy, one-on-one coaching, public speaking and debate training, leadership and team building sessions, plus much more. Visit noreendaly.com for more info. Noreen Daly, redefining the way you communicate.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Buddy program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at langdolanguage@gmail.com. Because the real question is, how can we help you?
Welcome back.
If somebody who will listen and watch this and will say, but you got some training, so you're quite intentional, and you did get some formal training, but there's somebody who's saying, I would like to become a people developer, or somebody who's intentional about lending support specifically to our young people, what would you say to that person?
I would say think carefully about it. It's not an easy, it's not in any way, shape or form easy. A lot of people think jumping into anything support based is easy. It's not. Especially with young people nowadays, and what they are faced with is very different from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago. Very different from my younger days, emphasis on younger days here. They are dealing with a very different reality, and a lot of times I think even persons my age and older would kind of tend to set it aside because our thing is it's easier for them now based on the older days. And I think if you are not open to dealing with the reality or their reality of what they're dealing with, don't jump into it. You need to have an open mind. You need to be able to have these conversations with them. You need to be able to learn from them, because for me a big thing is that this is a mutually beneficial relationship. It's a mutual learning experience. I'm learning from my students as much as they're supposedly learning from me, hopefully learning from me. It's like, it's the best part about this educational experience for me is that I'm staying up to date with what is happening in modern times, so to speak, because I'm communicating with them. It's the best part of it. I don't have to necessarily be in the social media space as much as I need to get back there, you know, as back in the days, because I have conversations with them and then they're like, oh, Dean, this is what this means, that kind of thing. You, in communicating with them, you're aware of what's happening. It's like what would have happened in my old days of media and communication, where they said you need to be on top of things as much. Sometimes I don't need to be. Conversing with students, I'm pretty clear. I'm up to date with what's happening.
You kind of answered something that I was going to ask. But it's fine. But for some people who will say, because, let me ask it another way. How do you then ensure that line of demarcation is there so they don't overstep their boundaries? Because there's some people who believe that if you have certain conversations, especially with our young people, they will then overstep their bounds and then put it in the vernacular term, they will pass them place. How do you maintain that line?
I think again it depends on the dynamic that you have with your student. I am friendly, but I am not your friend.
Okay.
And I think sometimes that needs to probably be said out loud.
Okay.
Because as much as I am the cool bean, when the hammer needs to be set down, it will be. And that's where respect comes into play. I respect my students. And I would hope that they respect me because of how I converse with them. But there's a tone in which I will address you at some point in time. And if I need to address you a little bit harder, if I need to drape you, as some of them would say, I will do so. You know, and then I will love you, and I will tell you why I drape you, as some of them would say, because that's what I'm here for. All of this is development for you. It's about mutual respect. And I'm not helping you by allowing you to disrespect me. And I'm certainly not helping myself by allowing you to disrespect me. It's not going to happen. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we're wrapping up though, do you think this is something that somebody has to be intentional about, or specifically be a natural at, or something that it's a trait or a skill they can acquire?
That's a good question. I would say, I think either or, honestly. Okay. I think you can learn to be, because the big part about it is being able to identify areas that need to be developed.
Okay.
I would say it's good to have a natural inclination to want to care.
Okay. Okay.
But once you can identify areas that need strengthening, and you are trained, skilled enough to be able to say, okay, this is what needs to be implemented for you to strengthen said area, I think it should be good. It would, however, be wonderful if you have that nurturing side of you that can touch that soft spot, so to speak, so that you can connect. That ability to connect cannot be denied. You need to be able to connect with people, I think, so that people can see that there's a side to you that actually genuinely cares, so that they can get that edge over some persons. Once you have that, you're good to go, my opinion.
Excellent note to end up. Thank you so much for sharing.
I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Jheanell. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers.